Silly me, thinking you and her could work things out. I'm a third wheel on this broken car. You're a mess, just wanna get out. Silly you, why is it so hard to be real? Speak the truth, say you're sorry, hear her out. You're too proud, like a child. You think time will tell and sort things out, but you know well as you never will if you don't. You never will if you don't. Let it sink into your mind, to your heart and your bones. 'Cause I know deep down inside you already know. Keep it real, try to focus. What's the deal? Don't say it's hopeless. Remember the good times. Is it worth fighting for? Silly you, why is it so hard to be real? Speak the truth. You say you're sorry, I don't know why. You're too proud to work it out. You think time will tell and sort things out, but you know well that you never will if you don't. You never will if you don't. Let it sink into your mind, to your heart and your bones. 'Cause I know deep down inside you already know. You never will if you don't. You never will if you don't. Let it sink into your mind, to your heart and your bones. 'Cause I know deep down inside you already know. You already know.
When I'll be coming home, then I'll be at your door. When I'll be coming home, I plan to let you know the longing of my heart, the wish I carry high. Whenever we're apart, it takes me through the night. When I look deep into your eyes, when I look deep into your eyes, be coming home, and I am on my way. When I'll be coming home, I wanna see you play the music of your heart. I'm followed by your light whenever we're apart. It takes me through the night when I look deep into your eyes. Oh, when I look deep into your eyes. When I look deep into your eyes. Oh, when I look deep into your eyes. When I look deep into your eyes. When I look deep into your eyes.
I'm slowly fading through the smoke. I can't hear myself think. Now every day since I woke up, I can finally see I'm Demons enter in my head and they destroy everything. My demons tell me that I'm useless and I don't have anything. Then it's quiet. 'Cause they are lying. Oh, so quiet. They are lying. Lately I have learned that they come and they go just as fast. They are slowly fading through the smoke and I can hear myself think I'm Demons enter in my head and they destroy everything. My demons tell me that I'm useless and I don't have anything. Then it's quiet. 'Cause they are lying.
might be going crazy, I don't know what to do. My heart is screaming for you, babe. And what I'm trying to say is that you make the sky look blue, even when it is gray, babe. Every time I'm feeling down, you can make it go away. Your light is shining bright on me, got no reason to be afraid. You're glowing in the dark, you're glowing in the dark, glowing in the dark. I feel it in my heart. You're glowing in the dark, glowing in the dark. Yeah, you're glowing in the dark. You can make it go away. Glowing in the dark. You can make it go away. Glowing in the dark. Can't stop looking at you, you're like a firefly. Guide me out of the woods now. Oh, I think I lost my way, but got you to help me back. Tell me what I should do now. Every time I'm feeling down, you can make it go away. Hey, darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city light. Hey, darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday, baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count, honey, come on now and take my hand. Hey, darling, I love it when it's me and you, on the road with a couple of tunes in a car for two. Hey, darling, you know we're gonna have a really good time, driving in the middle of the night when the stars are bright. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday, baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count, honey, come on now and take my hand. Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday, baby, don't you understand